Okay, you want to continue with that, or you want to go to the next item? Okay, we're on item 2, discussion determining maximum reuse water resources within the city, possible outside the city limits.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you read the title there. I just want to make sure that we talk about and keep this in the forefront of our minds that I know like in the new construction out by like Publix and those businesses out there, I think maybe Walmart, Lowe's, some of those businesses, Tractor Supply, when I toured a while back with Mr. Shawn and some of the others, they showed me how that reuse water that we're treating is actually getting sent out there, and they're able to take advantage of that at, I think, a reduced rate to irrigate with at their businesses. We also are able to send in water out towards Camp Weed with the rib systems, I believe that's what it's called, the ribbing systems, and help to replenish that lake and that aquifer out there, as well as I think Swanee Country Club takes advantage of that reuse water as well. What I want to do though is with the be proactive in the fact that when we are looking at infrastructure upgrades in the future, as I know Mr. Sessions is making that priority and getting the grant writer to do those things, that when we do that, that we keep this in mind to figure out a way to incorporate that so that our local businesses, and then I think even more importantly, some of the community members, the citizens, are somehow able to benefit from that, because a lot of people would probably irrigate their yards more so than what they do if it weren't such a high cost because of the return on the sewage end. So I just want to make sure that we keep that in mind. There's also been some very loose discussion involving maybe trying to expand that ribbing system and doing something out possibly potentially one day towards Peacock Lake, since that tank or that line runs out there as well. Had spoken briefly with County Commissioner Leo Mobley, as well as Mr. Glass at the Water Management, and they're actively looking into that. So I think that's something great, but I think that's a resource that we can take advantage of and use, but I want to make sure that the citizens of the city are able to tap into that as well going forward when we implement new infrastructures and things of that nature. And kind of just wanted to open that up for discussion from some of the other council people as well, if they had any other thoughts about that. I just think it'd be a great way to make use of something that we have, and we're not basically getting rid of it enough, so to speak.
A question. The water. We only get charged, Miss Joanne, just the water that goes in the sewage is what you start, that's how you're dealing, am I correct? When we start talking about uses of water.
Good evening.
Hello, Miss Joanne.
Council members. Joanne, Finance Director. Actually, when you have a utility account, you are charged for whatever water goes through your water meter, you're charged sewer. If you want to have an irrigation system, you can get a separate meter connected to your irrigation system, and that does not have a sewer charge on it. You do not have to pay the impact fee. You only have to pay the tap fee for that extra water meter.
Thank you.
Pardon me, but I'd like to get J.O. here to explain a little bit about where we actually have that type of water.
Talking about the reuse?
Yeah, the reuse. Just explain to everybody where all it's running
The reuse system, what I've learned about it in the 4 months I've been here, it runs from the wastewater plant, follows perimeter road all the way around to 90, and then follows 90 all the way out to the prison. So it would take a task to reroute it different directions, but it is, like with grants and stuff, it is something possibly we could do along with looping the rest of the system. We could implement it that way too. So it's just one line that does kind of L-shape out. But there's plenty of places that could.
They do take advantage of it out, like Publix and maybe the Tractor Place and some of those. So. What are the how are the charges on that, or the like as far as
Tag.
Okay, so we have not ever increase our rate structure for the reuse because it was really designed, no, it's very, very, very small.
Right.
However, there are a lot of costs to producing that reuse. It's a necessary item in the processing of our sewage. We have to have somewhere for that water to go. So the contracts and agreements that were developed for Camp Weed, the golf course, and we also put it on our spray field that's out by the sewer treatment plant. They're designed so that we have someplace to put it. It's an important factor to have someplace to put it. We have a permit that we have to file with DEP for that reuse and the wastewater treatment system. And it governs very strictly some of what we can and can't do. So that it all has to fit together. But, you know, like JL said, as they do infrastructure projects, they certainly can think of where to put lines, but you have to put the lines down in order to pipe it separate from your regular water. So it's a long-term vision, but it's got a lot of factors.
Sure, and that's what I'm saying. I would like to keep that in the forefront of our thinking because to me, it makes more sense to, if we can take, if the law allows us to use that in the city in different ways for different businesses or individuals, community members, so to speak, then to me, that would be a better option than just spraying it over in some spray field somewhere if we can use it and it's, you know, fiscally responsible and those things. So that was just kind of my thoughts on that as we were talking about, you know, growth, and we have infrastructure program, or I guess you want to call it plans for updating and increasing the infrastructure here in Live Oak, that we keep that in mind if that's an option.
This is off the record. You want to get rid of some water, put some pipes over in District 2. As much water as we have over in District 2, you can't even ride down the street in District 2 for the water. You want some, run your water that over in other districts if you want to talk about getting rid of some water to do whatever. There's too much water. I mean, it wouldn't help the district that I'm in because we're in a water hole. So when you start talking about irrigating, you know, where are you going to, I mean, it's not going to benefit my constituents over in my district.
Well, I wasn't just talking about your district, I was talking about the city and the community and the businesses as well. They take advantage of it at a decreased rate, and we cut down on waste. I think that's a win-win, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. More comments?
Go.
All right, item 3, discussion concerning the monthly updates and reporting from city department heads. I have several people that have approached me about information, and I didn't really know the information at the time. And I would try to find out for them and let them know via email and things of that nature. And here recently, Mr. Smith had spoken to me about it, and I feel like it's a good idea. I talked with Mr. Sessions about it, just to provide a monthly update, just simple stuff like not day-to-day activities. I don't want any department head to feel micromanaged or whatever that case might be. But just the main things. If we have something huge happen in the city, have a huge need, maybe you know, just a reporting on it and updating for the council as well as the public. I feel like it's a good step in the direction of transparency, and I feel like the best governed policies are transparency for everybody. So, you know, specifically maybe even from the you know, the police chief, the and the I'm sorry, excuse me, the fire chief, and so on and so forth. So get a copy of that, but if that can maybe possibly become a monthly thing, that would be awesome. If there's a way to put it on our website or something to get it to the public, even better.
All right, well, let me make a couple of explanations of what I do already. Currently, the chief gives me a report monthly on, which is this report right here, on pretty much everything, number of cases, extra patrols when people go out of town, things like that. We go by there, different arrests, crashes, warning citations, things like that. So he reports to me really more or less weekly, but I get a monthly report from him. George also comes to me weekly with all the permits and all the permitting things that we do. So he reports weekly also. daily, I talk to JL and pretty much daily, and then I talk to the clerk and the mayor about what's going on in the city and get the reporting done to me. Now, we do have a couple of spots that are open right now. We just lost our enforcement person. He'll be gone as of the 21st. So that will be something I'll be getting reported to when we get a new person. Also, a new building director that we need to hire. He'll be reporting to me weekly also. So I'm already getting this information, and if there's ways to put it on the website, everybody, I mean, it's numbers, but maybe everybody wants to see it. You know, how many warning citations and things like that we had. We can put it up if that's what everybody wants to do, if y'all want that. I mean, I'm sure John can make sure we get it on the website.
We can do it that way, or we can create a distribution list so they can sign up for emails. And
Yeah,
just
we can do
just for
that.
the ones that really want to see it.
I know, I
We
should
can
have
just
taken care of
distribute it through emails on a monthly
But
basis.
the reason I have these meetings and get this information so that I can learn more about the city, so I can do a better job here. And you know, this last one surprised me. Extra patrols. We got 30 days a month, and there's 1,393 patrols done in 30 days. That means we're doing a lot, checking a lot of businesses at night that are closed, a lot of places that people are out of town. So our city police are doing a heck of a job trying to cover everybody, you know, with these extra patrols. And these aren't assignments or anything. It's just they get a call or they get a message on, can you come by and check my house this week? We'll be out of town. And they'll do the drive-bys and check on them. So 1,393 patrols in a month is a pretty good bit for 30 days. We also had a situation last month, or anyway, county commissioner asked us to put a speed sign on 105th, and we did. And we had 215 violations, I think it was. In a short period of time, the highest speed person was actually a deputy. But most everybody was staying really close to the speed limit. But I really feel like part of it is looking at the little flashing sign. But so it does help when you bring attention to things. So if I'm asked to do something, I'm gonna do my best to make it happen and report back. And I didn't realize that everybody wanted to know all this, but I can report it. I don't have a problem with it.
I don't think it's such I don't want my intent to be misconstrued. It's not a gotcha thing, it's not an accountability thing, it's just a transparency thing. And I mean, we're public servants, everything that we do is subject to being, if someone wants to know what the emails are, they can get it. So just for having an outlet for that information would be great. And I'm not talking about something as simple as, hey, we had to change the oil on the truck, this, that, and the other. I mean, just the main things, and like there was some major things with the fire department, those type of things. Not any extra work on anybody, because that's one of the reasons why I asked, if you already are getting these reports, then why not, you know, make them.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, I've been sitting here almost 3 years. How many times have I brought up that the department heads that we should have some knowledge about the department heads? How many times have I brought that up? We want to know what's going on in the department heads. But now, Mr. Campbell brings it up, and all of a sudden, it's so important to you. But I brought this up, you weren't here. I brought this up numerous of times that we needed to know what was happening in other departments. I've even brought it up that perhaps one council person should maybe be in charge, you know, go over and see what's going on in the water department. Somebody go over and see what the police department, and we can come in and we can report it ourselves of what we've done ourselves. Now, all of a sudden, Mr. Campbell is interested in our reports, and this is, you know, I'm just devastated about this board. I really am. I'm very devastated how it works. This is something that we talked about basically 3 or 4 times. I brought this up, saying, why can't we have accountabilities of the different departments? Why can't we go and be a part and find out what's going on? I do. And I think it's really sickening when we sit here, and now all of a sudden you bring this idea, and now you think it's a great idea. So why don't, Hey, so we're putting it all on our Mr. Session to go and find out every department? Is that what you're saying? You want Mr. Session to go find out what's going on in every department? We're the people who are responsible for that. We're the ones who have to go to these apartments to find out what goes on. These people are looking for us. Like we said, people are calling you. So it's your responsibility as well as ours to go to, and then we go back to Mr. Session. Mr. Session, we get these calls saying this is whatever we need to know, whatever. This is how it should be. Not Mr. Session, all this is pushed off on Mr. Session. This is not his. This is our. We were elected officials. And it's on us. That's it. I promise you I'm not going to say another word right now.
I'll tell you what, I've been here for 14 years, 13 years. And what has done over those years that we've gotten away from is we're really the go-between between the city and the residents. So when something's going on, it's our job to contact finance, the fire chief, the police chief. If somebody asks you, that's really your job to go and get informed so you can get an answer for the residents. And that's kind of how it's been done for years, and that's how I was taught when I came in from the guys that had been here for years. And we've kind of gotten away from that, and it's really our job to inform ourselves so we can inform the public and our constituents. And I mean, there's different ways we can go about doing that, but that's how it's been done for years. I don't know if that's what you're asking, or you're wanting meetings, like monthly meetings on information on that. I don't know, you know. I mean, but that's kind of that's the way I was taught when I came in. That if you had information, go to the department head. And I've never had somebody in any department say, I don't have time for you. They informed me. Finance talked to me at a level where I understood it, and I've never had a problem with that. So I would encourage that, because the department heads have been nothing but fantastic over the years.
Mr. Birch, also, just to add to that, I just want to make sure I'm clear. So the way I was kind of told or understood it to be was that instead of us going straight to the department head, that we go to the city manager first. And then the city manager, if the city manager says, hey, I'll take care of that, then the city manager will do that, and somebody will respond or reply to you on that way. Or the city manager, as Mr. Sessions has done a couple of times with me on issues, he's like, I have no problem, just contact that gentleman and just basically keep me in the loop if you need anything else. So I feel like if I go to a department head and don't keep the city manager in the loop, then I feel like that I'm.
And that's fine. I mean,
so I just
nothing wrong with
understand the right way. I mean, the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's fine. But I mean, and it's not like you're going over his head into his department. You just try to inform yourself. And if I'm sorry. Then I mean, that's kind of what we've done, and we've gotten away from that for years now.
Mr. President, when I came on the council, we had the department heads would come and give a report. I think we had councilors that were over certain departments. When the city voters voted to change our form of government, I guess changed to the city manager form of government, that changed that process. The idea behind you not going to the department heads, it supposedly takes the politics out of it and the pressure off of them. Because if you go to them and ask Joanne to do this for you, and another one goes to and says, well, do this for me.
But that's not what I'm talking about.
No, I understand.
I'm just saying send an email for information.
Exactly.
That's all I'm talking about.
I got you.
I'm not talking about trying to run a department.
No, I understand. But that was the purpose behind having the city manager form of government. And the city manager is the CEO of the city. If the voters want to change it, then that's certainly the way it will go after the voters want it to go. But that's part of the reason behind it. As the mayor, I feel like I can go talk to anyone that I want to. However, I talked with Mr. Sessions. I did the same with Mr. Curtis when he was here, Mr. Williams. I've asked Joanne a number of things, and I'll tell Joanne, I assume you're gonna talk to Mr. Sessions, that I ask you these questions, that's fine with me. I want him to know because he needs to be in the loop, and he does run the city from day to day. And just as a kind of a clarification, I'm not arguing one way or the other, I'm just saying that's what we
But you're
have.
correct, that's exactly what.
The easy way to illustrate it is you have a corporation, you got your stockholders, board of directors, you never hear from them unless there's a problem. Y'all are required to stay informed, but the easiest illustration is that the day-to-day operations under this form of government are handled by the city manager, and the department heads are under his control. And so typically, the way it works is he would be the point of first contact, and then would be, since he works for you, would be to get back to you after he's done the investigation with department heads or employees or whoever, would report back to you to your satisfaction. And you could say, I'm satisfied with that answer, thank you very much, or I'd like to have a little more information. But that's typically the hierarchy is day to day is handled by the city manager under this form of government.
And just to make sure everybody's clear as well, one more time on top of everything I've said, is that I'm not asking for the department heads to have to do extra work, but if we're already providing those reports monthly, like you say they are, then just being transparent with the reports, find an outlet for them or something. I think it would be great for the city, I think it'd be great for.
Yeah, I like reports because by reading reports, I understand trends. By understanding trends, I know which direction to go to make things better. But I don't have a problem with, making sure everybody sees all these. Not a problem at all.
Okay. All right, item 6, Mr. Sessions.
The first thing I'd like to bring up, we've been doing a lot of hiring, and by doing some of the hiring, we've been doing some promotions too. And I did get with each one of you individually about a salary for the incoming building inspector. It was a little bit above what I'm allowed to